Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How We Hustle podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Tanya. And we invite you to join us in our unfiltered conversation about the real life hustle of being an entrepreneur. For more information about the podcast, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.
Make sure to check us out on Instagram at How We Hustle Podcast. You'll find information on new episodes as well as notable quotes from the episodes we do. So come check us out at How We Hustle Podcast on Instagram.
So today we're going to talk about upleveling pains because I'm going through them and you're going through them. And I think everyone needs to know that these things are normal and they happen to everyone while you are upleveling your business.
So what is upleveling? Let's start with that.
Okay, to me, upleveling is when you have reached a comfortable spot and it's now time to take your business to the next stage, the next step. So if you maybe you have a couple of clients and now it's time to create a group program, that would be upleveling. Or maybe you've reached a certain threshold in your business and you're struggling to get to the next step. So what do you need to do to get to that next stage, like that next income stage or more clients or more visible? Whatever your goal is, that would be an up level.
Yeah, so I recently kind of did my own version of up leveling. So I started running Google AdWords a little while ago, and just to kind of test it out, I started running them at $10 a day. You know, I hired a Google AdWords consultant on Upwork, and he kind of set me up with a campaign and a strategy, and we started out at $10 a day. But then at $10 a day, I was only hitting 22% of my search share impressions. So 22%, I decided to try and get 100%. So that means I would have to go up to $50 a day. Now, $50 a day, that's up leveling. That's like getting to the point where it's a little bit more uncomfortable. $10 a day is sort of, you're testing it out. It's like, okay, $10 a day is just $10 a day. But once you go to $50 a day, now you're like, okay, that's like a considerable more amount of money and it's uncomfortable. But I decided to do it anyway because I'm like, you know what? If $10 a day is working, but it's only getting me 22% of the results why would I not go up to 50 and get 100%? Like, why would I not? If I like getting the results I'm getting, why would I not like getting them at 5 times the rate? So that's sort of my experience with upleveling.
Mm-hmm. I've been living with the mantra as I'm upleveling right now of if it helps me get one client, it will be worth it.
And that is actually the same thing that I said to myself is like, at this level, if I can get one client a month, then the acquisition costs I would be fine with that. It was like, it's kind of the amount that I budget in my head to acquire every single client with advertising and everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's actually something I was talking about with a client this week where everybody thinks that you can just create a business online and then, talk about it on social media and then make all this money. What they don't realize is that there are people that are investing a certain amount of money into advertising, obviously strategic advertising, but advertising to get more clients, to get more reach. And when people think about it, they're like, oh, well, how much do I need to invest? And if somebody says to you, well, $1,500 a month, and you're like, I don't have $1,500 a month. And it's more about, yeah, we know you don't have $1,500 a month right now. The point is that you invest it and then you make whatever it is that your goal is potentially, right? You calculate how much do you need to invest to make a certain amount of money. And I was using the example with her of, it's like the stock market. If you put nothing into the stock market, you're going to make nothing. Yeah, if you put a little bit of money in, potentially, like you could lose some of that money, or you could also gain some, right? You could make some money or you can lose some. That's the same thing I feel like with advertising is that it's obviously a bit more stable than the stock market, but you have to put something in to get something out. You have to put something in, take some risk in order to grow your audience, to grow your business. If you're just using your direct audience, then you're limiting your potential for clients.
Yeah. So, the fear and the discomfort that comes with up-leveling is not something that should dissuade you from necessarily doing it.
Oh, no. And I think that the fear is normal for everyone because you're taking a risk. right? Anything that has a potential to do well and a potential not to do well, then is scary. Like you could lose some money. It could not work out. Those are real potentials. But you're doing these things with, you can change. If something's not working, you make a change. You have to take a risk. You have to do things that are uncomfortable if you want to get to the next stage. Like I've been talking a lot with my clients too about how as an entrepreneur, we're a beginner, like over and over and over and over again on this journey. Everything that we're doing, we didn't know how to do it before. Once we do know how to do it, then it becomes natural. And then we move on to upleveling and learning something new and, growing our businesses or trying something different to get our clients better results or to get our business better results. So we're always learning, we're always growing, but we're always going to be a beginner. And when we were a beginner, when I learned to read, it was hard and someone had to teach me, and it didn't happen overnight. I had to put in time and work and trust that if I continued to do my homework, I would one day be able to read.
Yeah, there's that saying, you got to step out of your comfort zone because that's where the magic happens. And that's sort of where I'm at right now. Like for the last almost 10 years, I had a successful company. I just sold it, and now I feel like I'm a beginner again because I put myself back into a state of discomfort where I am learning new things. And even though I have quite many years of successful, so to say, entrepreneurship behind me, I'm back to being uncomfortable, and it's in a lot of ways it's not comfortable, but I know that because I'm putting myself in this position of being uncomfortable, I'm putting myself in a position for the magic to happen, and I'm doing that intentionally.
Mm-hmm. And even I have one that's related to that where I say, I think it was like Picasso or someone who came up with this, but that nothing ever grows inside of your comfort zone, or nothing ever grows on a paved road, or nothing ever grows inside of your comfort zone. I think I usually mush those all together because your comfort zone is like a paved road and then nothing ever grows there. So you have to go off into the bumpy, the rugged jungle area to find growth.
And this is a concept that we need as entrepreneurs, and we need to understand on the front end, when we're doing things in our business. But this is also something we've talked about on the back end, is when we are talking with our prospects, we also need to work with them to transition them into customers. When I'm talking to my prospect on the phone, of course, they are uncomfortable, just naturally with, because my service, is helps them publish a book and become an authority figure in their industry. But of course, it does require an upfront investment, and then it's my job to help them understand that upleveling is going to actually pay for itself. So if they invest in what I have to offer, it's going to be an up level for their business, and it's going to exponentially bring them a return. So we got to think of it on the front end, but also the back end.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good. Sorry, I'm having dirty thoughts there, but I won't go there today. But I do think that. Yeah, I think that it's a good indication for us as we're up-leveling in our business of those fears of uncertainty are what our clients are going through as well. Is that investing is not a guarantee. Just because you invest in something doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the results that you want. The only person that can guarantee that is them, right? If they put in the time, if they work with somebody, if they invest, and they're there, they show up to make those results happen and not just resting on their laurels. Even with outsourcing, one of the things I was talking about with one of my clients was one, you get to a certain level, you want to outsource things to people, but there's still a risk with outsourcing too. Just because you're handing it over to somebody else doesn't mean that that they're going to do it the way you would have done it, or that they're going to get you better results than you had that you could have gotten yourself. I mean, we're taking a risk, we're taking a chance and saying, listen, I see that you can help me. I see that this can help me. I would like different results, better results, bigger results, and I can't do this alone. I need some support. I need some help. And like realistically, nothing is ever created with just one person. So we all need some support with that. And yeah, it's scary. And your results are not certain. But the thing that is certain is that if you never invest in it, if you don't make any changes, if you don't learn how to do things and get help to be taught how to do things, then you're definitely going to stay in the same spot.
Yeah, and I'm certainly dealing with that now. And like every time I do want to do all these things, like I just signed up for a course, which was a course on, how to sort of go on LinkedIn and prospect there. And it was expensive. I was uncomfortable about it. But like, I just, it was like your voice was in my head when I was deciding if I should take that course or not. And now that I've taken the course, almost, I'm like kind of going through it. But I've taken a few pieces from that course, and I was thinking to myself yesterday, like, even if I got nothing else from the course, there's this few like things I can think about that really sunk in. Like I was at a meeting on Monday with some prospects, and like I was using some of the tools that I learned in this course to run the meeting, and like that alone was worth the course. So it's like I took a chance. I felt the discomfort of upleveling, and I'm glad I did, and it's really helped me take my business one day at a time forward.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the key. Is like I've had a lot of people come to me and say like, well, I have invested in the past, but I had a bad experience, or yeah, exactly. Right. Like we all do. Like I've had such bad experiences with investing in my website, or like taking courses that I never finished or never did because there was no urgency or reason to do it now. And then I totally forgot about them, or they were no longer relevant to what I was doing. But I think that just because you've had a bad experience in the past, it doesn't mean that this course or this person that you're going to work with is going to be the same. What did you learn from that you don't want to repeat in the next thing that you invest in? I don't know. Sometimes when you buy like some food, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes products are really great and sometimes they're useless. And this, like the online business is no different. Like you will come across people that are not going to help you, or courses that didn't help you, or that you never finished, or you got no value from. But if you're, keep looking at things that are going to help you, because if you don't do them, like what's the alternative really, right? If we don't invest in anything and we just continue to just like read online and do free stuff or try to do it all on our own, we're just wasting time. Like even you were saying with the like $10, like you could be spending $10 a day and it could take you 5 times as long to get like a half the results. Or you can like go all in and say, no, I want to do this now. I want these results now. And I'm willing to invest the money to get those results. And like, yeah, thinking about the outcome. Everyone is always thinking about the position that they're in right now. Like that's not the position you're going to be in after you've done this up level. Right? The whole point is to be in a different position afterwards. So if you're thinking of hiring somebody or investing in ad spend or doing something that scares you, or, even just trying something new or taking a course or hiring or outsourcing, the point of it is to not be in the same position in a month from now.
Yeah, and something I actually thought to myself too was if I raise my ad spend to $50 a day and it doesn't work, at least I'm going to know that it doesn't work so much quicker, and then I can stop doing it, as opposed to like, waiting a few months on $10 a day and be like, oh, it's been a few months, I don't know if it's working. At least now I like have my answer that much faster, and I can modify and adapt what I'm doing, and I'm still ahead of the game because I've figured out what doesn't work faster. So there's even, it can be said there's a positive to be had even if something doesn't work, because now it doesn't work and you can focus on doing something else. So I guess like just sort of focus on the big picture. When you're up leveling, you have to up level. You have to. And when you're doing it, some things are going to work out and some things aren't. But you got to just keep doing it, and double down on what works and adapt when something doesn't work. But you got to keep taking action.
Mm-hmm. And just know that the fear of uncertainty and the fear of what if this doesn't work out is normal. We all experience it, every single one of us. But I mean, be guided by the mantra of if it helps me get one client, or if it makes me one sale, it'll be worth it.
And that's a wrap on another episode of How We Hustle. For more information, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.